everyone, it's Miss Bailey.
And Miss Fallon, and we're from the Cauchamaro Public Library.
We've been asked to give some recommendations for teens/young adults, so that's what we're here to do today. All of these books can be found on level 4 in the teen department.
So one of my favorite genres to recommend people is mysteries. And so to start off with, I have Pretty Little Liars, which is the first book in the series. This book series follows a group of friends, Hannah, Emily, Aria, and Spencer. They may seem like they have it all, expensive cars, fancy homes, and designer clothes, but they have a lot of secrets, and if they come to light, then it could ruin their perfect reputation in their town. Falling in love with a sibling's boyfriend, having a relationship with an authority figure, and going to extremes to maintain beauty barely scratch the surface of the skeletons that are in their closet. Because even worse is a secret they've harbored since 6th grade, and a mysterious individual only known as A knows all the dirt on their secrets, especially this little tidbit. Is A Allison a good friend who disappeared, or is A an individual that they can't even begin to guess the identity of? Either way, A doesn't seem to have good intentions, and might be out to ruin their carefully constructed lives.
For those who are transitioning from middle grade to teen books and they like something darker, I would highly recommend A Living Nightmare, the first in the Search to Freak series. When visiting an illegal freak show featuring marvelous acts like a wolfman, bearded lady, and snake boy, a young man learns a difficult lesson. Don't steal spiders from vampires. Nothing good can come of it. Ever. Seriously. You'll regret it instantly. Or the day after. It all really depends on when the spider acts up. You'll see. My next recommendation is I Hunt Killers. Examine a case of a nature versus nurture. Jasper is the son of the world's most infamous serial killer, Billy Dent.
Talk about daddy issues.
Billy adored imparting on young Jasper the ins and outs of being a living Grim Reaper, teaching him the gruesome tools of his trade. Until one day, Billy finally gets caught and locked away. The only problem is that lifeless bodies begin littering Jasper's hometown of Lobos Nod, and with Billy out of the picture, he becomes the prime suspect, despite his innocence. Jasper is determined to prove to the town's inhabitants that he isn't a killer and won't become one either. Or maybe he wants to prove to himself that he isn't a murderer, that dear old dad didn't ruin him after all. Whatever the case may be, Jasper has the mind of a serial killer, which gives him the perfect advantage when investigating a crime scene. So, whether the police like it or not, they'll have to team up with Jasper if they want to put an end to the black plague of death their town is experiencing. This book is bold and creepy, and it begs the question, are we our own persons, or do our parents define us?
If you're a connoisseur of all things Disney, then we have a selection for you in the YA department. Among the cream of the crop is The Isle of the Lost, based on the Descendants franchise by, you guessed it, Disney. This prequel story follows the same main characters as the movies. Mal, the daughter of Maleficent, the Evil Queen's daughter Evie, Jafar's son Jay, and Cruella de Vil's son Carlos. Imprisoned on the Isle of the Lost among other Disney villains, this ragtag group of evil royalty hatches a plan to escape. Hidden away is the Dragon's Eye, which will not only end their banishment but also prove their cruelty to their parents and peers.
Rotten to the core!
The only problem is that the Dragon's Eye is cursed, causing whoever confiscates it to sleep for 1,000 years. If Mal wants to succeed in capturing the object of her desire, she'll have to turn to others for help, even if that means getting help from frenemies.
My next recommendation is Hidden Talents. Edgeview Alternative School is where problematic students like Martin go. He's known for having a smart mouth and always managing to somehow get under his teacher's skin. It's like he knows their insecurities intimately. While existing at the bottom of Edgeview's food chain, he meets a host of other boys deemed losers just like himself. Except they all have their own quirks, or hidden talents, if you will. Wink, wink. Maybe what makes you a loser is actually your greatest superpower. Literally. I'd also like to talk about Serpent and Dove. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Unless you read Diggory, who has to marry one without knowing it. Ha! Just imagine it, an arranged marriage between a witch and a witch hunter, and Reed is none the wiser as he tries to navigate his roles as a soldier of the church and husband to an unruly witch named Lou. The relationship is both tumultuous yet humorous at times, and you, dear reader, get to see if Lou is able to hide among the enemy in order to outrun her fate.
As you can see, we both really like murder mysteries, so I'd like to end my recommendations off with another one. If you're looking for a crime thriller with nail-biting twists and turns, then my suggestion for you is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A murder-suicide case rocked Pip's small town and haunts the locals half a decade later. As the account goes, a young man killed his girlfriend and then killed himself. But this version of events never sat well with Pip. As a senior in high school, she decides to delve into this closed case as her capstone project, because she thinks the original investigation was erroneously concluded. Sometimes, though, it's best to leave old bones buried.
If you enjoy fantasy books, then may I suggest Defy the Knight. Tessa Cade is a rebel.
Let me guess. Without a cause.
No, with the cause this time! In a kingdom ravaged by sickness, Tessa secretly uses her apothecary skills to brew and distribute medicine to the less fortunate. When her partner in crime is killed being a fellow medicinal Robin Hood, Tessa vows to destroy the royal family because of their brutal reign. However, Tessa's plan goes awry and she must now help the royal family pull the kingdom back together and stop a rebellion, all while trying to figure out why the life-saving medicine seems to no longer be working. My final recommendation is Sky Hunter. If you're a fan of science fiction, especially dystopians, then this might be the book for you. Talon lives in a world that knows only war. After fleeing to one of the last remaining free nations, she joins their elite fighting force known as Strikers in order to fight against the oppressive enemies and their mutated pawns of war. When the Strikers obtain a mysterious prisoner, they soon discover that a new super soldier has been created. Is he a spy or their saving grace?
Bum, bum, bum. We hope you enjoyed our recommendations.
And if you ever need help finding a book that fits your interests, we're always happy to help.
Thanks for watching,
And we'll see you later.